News came in today that the Washington football team has been fined $10 million. The NFL has handed down this punishment to the Washington football team for a workplace misconduct investigation that implicated many senior management members of the team. The NFL, again, fined them $10 million. One crucial aspect of this whole punishment is that no one who was implicated in the report and subsequent investigation was personally suspended or expelled from the NFL for their conduct. We know what happened last year. There were a lot of misconduct allegations that came out in the team. Actually, last offseason was not a great PR season, like a few months for the Washington football team. Andrew, what do you think about this investigation and this punishment, rather? And did it go far enough? You're muted.
I'm not talking about the Washington football team. They made the playoffs. I don't want to. Dan Schneider. This is a Dan Schneider problem. This is not my problem. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's fair. I'm just gonna. Okay, then I'll just take it from here. All right. So, workplace misconduct violations are the light way to put some of the stuff that went on. There were allegations and actually credible reports that the senior members of the Washington football team tried to basically pimp out cheerleaders. There were a lot of other violations. You guys can read that in the reports and the news. I think the Washington Post did a big story about this last offseason. But to put it simply, man, I think the $10 million fine, yeah, it's a historic fine. It's a huge fine. Like $10 million is not cheap. I don't care how, even if you're Dan Snyder, that's not cheap, right? But to be fair and to be honest, the fact that nobody who was involved, and they know the names and they know the people, the fact that nobody who was involved was at least suspended, I don't think it really hinders this type of behavior from happening again, right? I don't think it hinders that kind of behavior from happening again, because it's very similar to the Astros punishment, dude. They came down hard on like the franchise, right? But they didn't come down hard on the people who did it. And like nothing happened to Altuve, nothing happened to all the other players involved. Same thing here. The franchise was hit hard with a fine, but nothing happened to the people who were in the football operations department, who were managing this football team. Nothing happened to them specifically, as far as like they can like. In theory, they can go and get hired for another team and go and work for other teams when they really shouldn't be able to do that, because they created an unsafe working environment for employees of the team. They brought a terrible PR, not just to the Washington football team, but to the NFL by doing this. And on top of all that, like some of the things they were investigated and credited for were terrible things. So no, it doesn't go far enough. I think the NFL should have come down harder. Like you're telling me you came down harder on Bountygate than you did on this, where people were legitimately hurt, like people were legitimately put in unsafe working environments. Like the NFL field is different. Like you go out there, you're expecting to get hit. I'm not like, excusing what happened in Bountygate, right? There were those like they were headhunting, and that's also part of a bygone era in sports, but that's a whole different thing. But the fact that they were putting the employees through this kind of stuff, the fact that, there was allegations of like racism and all this other stuff, and actually overt racism, like that's what forced them to change the name. This is way too light. This is way too light, because also remember, Dan Snyder is probably also not going to feel this. Like this is going to be on the Washington football team, and how soon are they going to make up that $10 million? Probably pretty fast. They'll make that up probably with like Fitzpatrick jersey sales or something. Like you know what I'm like. It's sad. It's sad because they should have done more. The people who are involved in this, I don't think they should be working for an NFL team anytime soon. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.